One of the most powerful things you can do as a candidate is ask great questions in your interview. And that's no different at Home Depot. In today's video, I'm going to give you 6 great questions that you can ask at the end of your Home Depot interview to stand out as a great candidate. Now, this is video 4 in a 5-part series. So if this is your first video you're seeing, make sure you go back and watch the other 3. You can find it in the playlist. And at the very end of this video, I will actually link a video on screen, and it's the 5th and final video in the series. So that way, when you're done with this one, you can go watch that one. All right, let's get started. Now, the first question I want you to ask in your Home Depot interview is, what does this person need to accomplish in the first 90 days in order for you to consider this hire to be successful? This is a great question because it lets you know what their expectations are. It also shows them that you're thinking ahead, right? You're thinking about the mindset of success. If I get hired, if I take this job, what will I need to do for you to feel like that was a great hire? It's a really good question because, one, it lets you know, okay, what are they expecting of me? Is that achievable from my perspective? And it allows them to view you as someone who is forward thinking and is already thinking about how they can be successful in the job. And that's a great way for them to envision you. Great question to ask. I would never take a job without asking some variation of this question. The next question is one of my favorites and is, what does onboarding and training look like for somebody who accepts this position? And this is great, right? If I take this job, if I accept your offer, what are you going to do to help me be ready for the job? What is training? What is onboarding? And I think this is really important because I have always said that retention, well, that starts at onboarding. Do they set you up for success? Ideally, yes. Ideally, they can respond to you and go, hey, yeah, so we do this, followed by that, then we train you in this, and then blah, right? That feels good. That's like, okay, yeah, they know what they're doing. That is a good plan. I'm satisfied. However, if they answer this question without confidence, without a coherent plan, then you probably feel a little bit less good. And I want to know that. As a candidate, I want to know, are they going to equip me for success or not? It's a great question to ask just from the mere fact that you are going to learn, do they have a good plan for you or do they not? It's also good because if they really try to sell it and show you, oh, we're going to have you do this and this and this, and there's enthusiasm and there's detail there, it also probably means they're excited about you as a candidate. If they answer this brief and lacklusterly, I don't know if that's a word, but if they do that, maybe they're not as interested in you as a candidate. So there is a lot you can glean from their responses. Hey, by the way, if you're liking this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It is actually free for you, and it tells YouTube that I don't suck. Helps me and the channel a ton and motivates me to make more videos like this. The next question I want you to ask is, what is it that you like about working at Home Depot? This is a great question because you're going to be able to tell so much from the way they answer this. Are they like, oh, I don't know, it's a good place to work, and I guess. Not inspiring. If they go, you know, there's so much, I love this, and this is a great thing, then you know you're probably coming into a place that's a good environment to work in. But if this person isn't enthused, that would give me a cause for concern. The other thing that's powerful about this is it allows them to talk. People, generally speaking, have a more positive reflection on a conversation if they get to talk more, right? Like if they get to share things they're passionate about and they get an opportunity to talk, they're going to look back and they're going to reflect on the conversation and be like, this was a good conversation. That's just human psychology. Additionally, this is good information if you want to write a thank you email. If you want to write them a thank you email, you can say something along the lines of, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I learned a lot about the opportunity and I'm very interested. Additionally, I really appreciate how you shared blank. You basically reiterate what they shared with you and then say, and now I'm even more motivated to pursue this opportunity. Please let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to next steps. And there you go. That's like a perfect thank you email, and it's made more powerful by using their answer to this question. Now, the next question I want you to ask is, I want you to highlight an area you're proficient in. Okay, so let's just say you're good at home and garden. And then I want you to ask about cross-training. So it goes like this. Hey, so I'm really passionate about home and garden. It's been a hobby of mine for a long time, and I love the opportunity to work in that department and help others. But if I was to get hired for this job, is there also the opportunity for me to be cross-trained in different departments in the future? This is a great question because it reiterates your passion for the area they're interviewing you for, right? Like you should tee those up. If they're interviewing you for home and garden, you want to talk about home and garden. If they're interviewing you for appliances, you want to talk about how you love appliances and it's an area of interest for you. Okay, so you're aligning yourself with the job. but then you're asking about being cross-trained in other departments so you can bolster your knowledge and usefulness to the organization. This is good because they're going to want people who are willing to be cross-trained, right? It makes their staff more versatile. It also shows you're interested in learning. All of those things are good. Basically, by asking this question, completely independent of their answer, you are positioning yourself as a desirable employee, which is the goal of asking this specific question. It's also great to hear what they have to say, but you will come off well by answering this question, or asking this question rather. This is another really good question, and it's, what are the skills and behaviors of the most effective members that you have on your team at Home Depot? You're basically just asking, hey, the good people, what makes them good? And this is great because it allows them to talk about the skills and behaviors they desire. And if this is your first interview, in your upcoming interviews, you can talk about how you have those skills and behaviors. That way you can align yourself with the people who have succeeded historically in this store. But it's a good question to ask, because when they go, oh, well, Ben, I guess there's a lot of things. People who are willing to help others, good teammates, people who like talking with customers, those are the people who have been successful. Then you can say, oh, that's really great to hear. In my past jobs, those have been some of my favorite things, is working in a team and helping the customer. I'm really motivated by making sure that they leave our store with a good experience. And what you're basically doing is saying, hey, what makes someone good? Oh, I'm that. This is a great question. It gives them an opportunity to talk about what makes someone effective. But on top of that, you can align yourself as one of those people. Now, this next question is a question I want you to ask at the very end of your interview. I call it the closing question. And it's, do you have any questions or concerns about my ability to do the job? And one of two things will happen here. They'll go, no, I don't have any questions or concerns. I think you'd be very well qualified for this role, Ben. At which point you go, oh, that's great to hear. I'm really interested in this opportunity, and I can't wait for next steps. Or something like that, right? Just a positive affirmation. On the flip side, they might say, well, yeah, Ben, you don't have a lot of blank experience, and ideally we'd have someone who has that. And this is good, because this gives you an opportunity to counter their concern. If you don't ask this question, you don't get that opportunity. But by asking it, they share this with you, and then you need to counter it in a non-defensive way. And that would look like this. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with me. I don't know if I did as good a job sharing this, but I actually do have experience with that type of thing. When I worked for a B and C company, about 30% of my job was actually doing blank. And it's something that I like quite a bit and I think I'm pretty good at, but I don't know if I put that in my resume. So thank you for sharing that, but I would say it's something that I do feel strongly about. And it gives you an opportunity to counter it. Again, you can't be defensive here. If you're defensive here, then it's not a good move. But if you can counter it and you can be not defensive, you are setting yourself up for success. Now, another way to set yourself up for success in the interview is to show them in the middle of the interview that you are a good culture fit and you share value alignment with them. It's why I made this video here. This video here basically talks about, okay, what are their values? And in the interview, as a candidate, how can you show them that you're a great cultural value and you have value alignment? It is a tactic not enough candidates do. But if you watch this video, you can do it.